Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 24th episode of Today in the World of Wrestling. Today we are going to be covering the episode of WWE NXT that aired on August 10th, 2016. And I got to tell you, John, I thought this was actually a pretty solid freaking episode of NXT. Again, they're on a roll since the draft.
I definitely had fun with this episode. I agree.
Yeah, all right. Well, hey, let's get right into it then. We started the show out with Bobby Roode walking out of William Regal's office and thanking him for his time. Regal tells him that he has to get to the contract signing, but Roode is saying this is going to be great, whatever he's referring to.
Yeah, so we get some ambiguity there, and we continue to push our Roode. Good stuff.
And then we find out exactly what he is referring to, that, of course, being he has a match at Brooklyn, and we'll talk to that in a couple minutes, but first, let's talk about William Regal, who is in the ring for the Women's Championship contract signing. We got a really good contract signing segment here between Bayley and Asuka. Bayley basically letting Asuka know that your mystique that you had is no longer there for me. I know what I'm up against now, and I am going to beat you at Brooklyn, and I'm going to be the first woman to beat you, and I'm going to be the first woman to be the two-time NXT Women's Champion. Asuka tells her that she doesn't think that she has it in her, and that even though she thinks she's going to destroy her at Brooklyn, she still respects her.
Right, so great fire from Bayley, and I enjoyed the promo from Asuka as well.
Right, and then we got sort of an interesting exchange where Asuka goes for the handshake, and Bayley's just like, the last time you tried to do that, you ended up on your back. You might want to do that. Just sign the contract and let's get this done. And Asuka's all angry and, okay, and all pissy and angry and full of vinegar. And then she signs the contract, reaches out for a handshake again. Bayley goes out of the ring, comes back in. We get an intense face-off between the two. Asuka, holding the championship up above her head, walks out.
Yeah, great contract signing here. I actually enjoyed this.
Our first of 5 matches tonight was the Authors of Pain versus 2 local competitors named Nails and Ryzen. I don't remember what their first names are. I think it might even be Rob for both of them, because I'm pretty sure it's Rob Ryzen. I don't remember Nails' first name.
I don't remember it either.
It probably doesn't matter, though, because the Authors of Pain destroy both of them.
Yeah, another quick squash match for the AOP.
And then after the match, the AOP attempt to do a post-match beatdown, but TM61 come out to try and make the save here, but it doesn't really matter. AOP, the Authors of Pain, are dominant and destroy even TM61, even despite having just had a match.
Yeah, they demolished them. It was great.
Andrea DeMarco interviewed Shinsuke Nakamura and asks him about, Samoa Joe and him being on this rampage, and all Nakamura says is, Joe doesn't need to worry. I will find him when I want to.
That was great by Nakamura.
So then we had another match, Andrade Cien Almas versus Angelo Dawkins. And this was decent, but it was really more an exhibition match for Almas because he ended up winning with a new finisher, a hammerlock, sort of Russian leg sweep style DDT.
I liked it. Definitely an upgrade from the double knees in the corner.
But then we come back to Bobby Roode because he comes out and announces that NXT TakeOver Back to Brooklyn just got a little bit more glorious because he is going to have a match there against Andrade Cien Almas.
Very intriguing matchup to make the card. I'll be curious to see how they build this.
Definitely. Then we get a backstage segment. We actually had quite a few backstage segments in William Regal's office. This was the first of them. Austin Aries sort of asking / demanding a match at TakeOver Brooklyn, and Regal is just like, yeah, sure, man, you got it. You've got a guy that you've been trying to avoid for a while. No way, Jose.
Yeah, glad that this match got on the Brooklyn card.
Yeah, for sure. Then our third match of the night features the newly sort of refreshed and now being built Billie Kay taking on Liv Morgan. And it is worth noting, Liv Morgan is really over. She, right now, she's more over than Carmella was before she got called up, I think.
I would agree with you there.
So this was a solid match. We're going to have a lot to say about this match, I think, when we get to it in TitWoW. And Billie Kay wins with her big boot. Great stuff. And then we kind of transition to ringside where we see Rich Swann, Jack Gallagher, and Noam Dar watching from ringside, which transitions us into CWC, where we talk about Ciampa and Gargano's match last week, which transitions us into a Regal office promo with Ciampa and Gargano, where they find out that William Regal has finally decided to pull the trigger on giving them their shot at the Revival for the NXT Tag Team Championships at Back to Brooklyn.
Very excited. They're finally getting their tag team title shot. Should be a fun match.
And mad props to the NXT production crew for setting this transition up, from Billy Kay and Liv Morgan to the CWC competitors at ringside to Ciampa Gargano to them getting their match. It was really, really well done there.
Yeah, expert work here, definitely.
Speaking of expert work, we had an expertly made vignette for Ember Moon up next, and I remember specifically them talking about a prophecy of fire, and we'll find out about that a week from Sunday, or actually a week from Saturday at NXT TakeOver Back to Brooklyn. On this, as last week was 8/20/16.
Yeah, I am so stoked for that.
And then we got our fourth match of the night, Tucker Knight and Patrick Clarke versus Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. Exhibition match. Admittedly, Patrick and Tucker were both fairly impressive, and we'll talk more about that on TitWoW, but Ciampa and Gargano win with what I've been calling PCS, short for post-concussion syndrome, their super kick knee to the back of the head combo.
Yeah, great double team finisher.
Then we get the announcement that Hideo Itami will return and be in action again next week, so it's good to see him kind of becoming more of a regular part of the product, and that they're actually really building him as part of the product. And then we get a Dasha Fuentes interview with Mojo Rawley, and Mojo says, tonight I'm bringing the fight to Joe. It's not about getting hype. Tonight, it's about getting even, which transitions us into our main event of the evening, Mojo Rawley versus Samoa Joe. Obviously, Joe wins, but I think this is Mojo Rawley's best match ever by far.
Easily. Completely agree.
And not just because he got destroyed. He didn't really necessarily get absolutely dominated. He actually got quite a bit of offense in this, but he looked good as far as the way he moved in the ring. His energy wasn't too over the top. It's kind of right on point, and you could really get that fire out of him where he kind of felt like he was really trying to get revenge on Joe and really show what he could do against the champ at the same time.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there, dude.
So that was NXT, and we will see you guys up next for our NXT TitWoW. Stay tuned.